What is the Chalcedonian definition of the Incarnation? The Chalcedonian definition of the Incarnation states that the Son, while remaining divine, acquired a perfect human nature. As Son, he is a spiritual being, having all the divine properties such as omnipotence. He could only acquire a rational soul if that is understood as acquiring a human way of thinking and acting. His perfect humanity must be understood in such a way to involve inability to sin, although compatible with an ability to do less than the best. A summary of the Chalcedonian Creed. The same perfect in Godhead and also perfect in manhood, truly God and truly man, of a reasonable soul and body, without sin, born of the Virgin Mary, the Mother of God, one in the same Christ, Son, Lord, only begotten, to be acknowledged in two natures, inconfusedly, unchangeably, indivisibly, inseparably, then distinction of natures being by no means taken away by the union, but rather the property of each nature being preserved, and concurring in one person and one substance, not parted or divided into two persons, but one and the same Son. The Incarnation goes hand in hand with the Creed, as they both prove that Jesus the Son is one and the same with his real humanity. How does this correct Christological heresies? One Christological heresy is Doxatism, which is the belief that Jesus of Nazareth only appeared to be man but was God the Son on earth. This was false because Jesus was a person inside and out. He bled, was tempted, ate, drank, had feelings, got tired, angry, or sad. The New Testament explicitly condemns this belief with 1 John 4:1-3. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. Another heresy is Apollinarianism, which is the belief that Christ had a human body and soul, but a divine mind. Hebrews 2:17 rebukes this by saying, for this reason he had to be made like them, fully human in every way, in order that he might become a merciful and faithful high priest in service to God, and that he might make atonement for the sins of the people. How does the definition ensure specific aspects of Christ's active and passive obedience? Two examples of Christ's passive obedience are his atonement of our sins, his death, and his baptism. Jesus suffers the ultimate punishment that was crucifixion, as said by Philippians 2:8. And being found in appearance as a man, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to death, even death on a cross. Jesus also gets baptized even though he was sinless, to show his dedication and obedience to God. Matthew 3:14-17 says that Jesus replied, let it be so now. It is proper for us to do this to fulfill all righteousness. Then John consented, and a voice from heaven said, this is my Son, whom I love, in him I am well pleased. An example of Christ's active obedience is shutting down sinful activity. Matthew 4:1-2 says that then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. Jesus said to him, away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. Because Jesus is the Son of God, fully the Son in the Trinity, he was able to resist Satan's temptation despite his humanity. Another example of Christ shutting down sinful activities in Matthew 12:9-14, where he exposes Pharisees as hypocrites for telling others to not work on the Sabbath, and yet they conduct their own labor. Jesus also points out how they care more about money than the people. Their value system is skewed, so they use religion to cover their greed. I would like to conclude with reiterating Romans 5:19. For just as through the disobedience of the one man the many were made sinners, so also through the obedience of the one man the many will be made righteous.